Hey, welcome back to Vector Graphics, Adobe Illustrator. Uh, Getting down to the nitty gritty. So I want to talk to everybody about some things that might be good for some students. Um, if you open up the studio sessions, you'll now see that session 6 through 7, 8, 9 are open and you can get to them. Uh, So get to them if you need to. This is far back as I can open things. And we're getting down to the last couple days of this class. If I go to the month, um, we have one full week left, like 2 full weeks. And the 18th, there's actually no classes. So we have today, then Monday, Wednesday, and then the Monday. And then the class is over. So it is kind of like a week and a half left, just about a full 2 weeks. So I'm doing kind of everything sort of possible to make sure you can get in anything. If you're had a bad week in there, get it in, turn it in. If you don't turn it in, I can't grade it, right? That's how it works. If I can't grade it because you didn't turn it in, you haven't proven to the college that you have succeeded in learning what you need to learn in order to pass the class. That's why we have to do it. Why do we have to do homework? It's your proof that you know what you're doing. People expect that when you leave here, you have a certain amount of knowledge about programs. So use that if you're one of those people that needs to use this. All right. And I have shifted one project also. So today's going to be a little bit lighter. And then we kind of end up with a normal Monday and then single projects on the way out. And there'll be the very last project you do is very simple and it involves a project you've already worked on. The second last, I'll go to the calendar. I'm trying not to give away too much information. It's more fun this way. The assignment given to you on the 16th, which will be due within that week because I have to get grades in, is very simple. It's based on something you've already done. It's like an hour project. You will have the two, you're not going to get the big assignment today, which is the design mission. I pushed the design mission off. What is 2 more? This is wrong. So that's got pushed to the 11th. It's not showing up. So I have to double check why it's not showing up. Then you're going to have a portfolio builder, which is going to be a fun, open one to do, which you have a whole week to work on. It's going to be kind of like a free one in what you do with that. And then we're just going to finish up. So not much left. And that's why I'm kind of opening things up, that if you've had some challenges, get the stuff in. That's all I can do. That's as far as I can push it because I want to say the grades are due the 18th. I'm hoping that I can have them do the 22nd to give you guys all a little bit more time. So make sure you check that stuff, you look at it, and you make sure that like you've gone back and anything that you can get back in and make up, you've done it. So make sure you check everything, make sure you look at that, you go to your content. And if you're like, oh, studio session 6 is open and I haven't done the portfolio builder 2, do it now. Like this is your one warning. So the class is ending. It's been great. I've seen a lot of great stuff. It's awesome. The other one is if you're like, I can't do it. There's another 8-week version of this course taught by another instructor. And that starts like right away at the other 8th week. And I think there's 2 spots open for that course that if you're like, you can't deal with me, you're going to want to try Chris. But yeah, it's another 8-week session. So otherwise it's next semester. And then we're no longer doing 8-week sessions of courses, so you'd never have to worry about this again. This is our last 8-week hurrah for the graphic design department. So I hope sort of all of that makes sense. Just once again, if you got something missing, I got to go to student preview. Calendar, content. Get it in. Well, now this is showing them all. Exit this card. Preview. Yeah, so this is what it should look like. So make sure you get in what you need to get in. Hopefully it'll be enough to boost you to the final area. As always, make sure you get your attendance in. Let's start out. It's going to be a shorter class today. Like I said, I moved out the bigger project. It'll give you some extra time to finish design challenges and stuff like that, but you can do it. Let's see what's today. Oh, what is a sans serif? Didn't we do this? We know this because we have to do this every class with the typographic challenges where I say use a sans serif or use a serif. Sans serif, sans, as we know, is French, and it's French for without. So a font without decorative strokes. There you go. You get the first one. Knock that out. You've attended the class. Attendance just is this. College needs to know your attendance. That's what they need. Let's jump in and start to play around. I haven't opened up anything because I've been in meetings, so I didn't really pre-check anything. I'm opening up Adobe Illustrator for the people who are just looking at this waterscape. And there's Adobe Illustrator. I'm going to go through the lettering expressions. I'm going to do one. It is climbing, running, and subtract. And we need to use a sans serif bold typeface. So sans serif, new file. I hope I used the right font in the last one. New file. This is going to be 9 inches wide by 6 inches tall. So we'll just go through and do our standard 9. And again, why do we need to know this so well? Every time you work for somebody, every time you do a design project, you got to start a new design setup. So this is what you have to do every time. So this is why you need to have it memorized. So I went down. I'll hit cancel on that. 9 by 6, 1/4 inch bleed. We know that. We scroll down to more settings. Number of artboards, I want 3. I want them in a horizontal line with a 1-inch space. That just gives us enough room. And that bleed is 0.25, and I can create the document. We can see what it looks like here. We are going to start with the margin. Type that into the name. We are going to draw our margin box. We are going to make sure that the margin is 8.5. Oh, it doesn't like that because I didn't have the whole number. I had a 8.5 space. It was just like a little bit off there and it didn't like it. And then this is 5.5. Fill. We don't want any fill. For the stroke, we want this beautiful magenta at 1 point. And we want to make sure we're centered up. So that looks all nice. Then what do? We copy. And then we go to edit, paste on all artboards. With one selected, I will turn on my ruler. I will pull a center down and then the 3 across, just so I know where my midpoint is all the time. And then I'll make sure my margin is a template. Everybody's been doing really great with this. It should just be your habit. It's just a habit. How do you start a document? Kind of same steps every time. Crop marks. We'll make the crop marks as big as the whole page here. 9 by 6. The fill is nothing. The stroke, we want nothing. We go to FX, crop marks. Then I can copy that and go to edit, paste on all artboards, and that did not work. Let's delete what we did. copy, edit. Oh, I'm getting some sort of error. I'm getting an error in which it's not pasting on all artboards. Edit, copy, edit. Huh. So I just made a ton. So this happens every once in a while. What do? We can close the program out. We can figure out a different way, or I can just take those ones where I was copying and it's not pasting on all artboards and move them over myself. Again, I've talked to some other people about this, other students in times of troubles, is computers are computers. They're not always perfect. We get mad at them, like, oh, it's not doing what it's supposed to. Well, did you refresh it? Did you change it? Did we, maybe there's a glitch. So what can you do to get around that? So it wasn't doing the paste on all artboards, which isn't super important all the time. I'm not going to be doing it again. So what did I do? I just copied and pasted and moved those crop marks over to where I needed them. Solve the problem. Like, instead of like keep hitting it, it's just not doing it. And it, you know, like I could keep going up here and going to edit, paste on all artboards like 57 times. That's not going to change it. So the other one is find a different way to do it, or close the program, kind of save your work, close the program, open it back up again. That may take out that little glitch. It's a glitch. It's a computer. These happen all the time, especially in these programs where they're pretty heavy processing programs. That's why like little Chromebooks don't have a good time with these. I don't think they can handle them at all. Look at that. My hidden crop marks. Let's get rid of this. Delete. So just always make sure. Oh, this thing isn't working. This thing isn't working. All right. Close it. Open it again. See what happens. See if that thing works again. It's okay to close something and open again. I think we get stuck in this idea that like, oh, I'm going to close it and open it again. That's 2 minutes of my life. Well, you're going to spend 10 minutes trying to do the same thing over and over and over again. So that's why. All right. Our word is one of the words, climbing. Climbing. Sans serif. Bold typeface. Gonna make that big. Let's pick something. You can go here. You can go here. Wherever you like to choose yours. Oh, I must have done that. Do I do this one a lot? That's a weird font. Let's do the weird font. And for this, I think we probably all got the same idea. And I'm going to make it the size. I'm going up to the margins right here. Then I'm going to go to type, create outlines, object, ungroup. Why am I doing that? Because I want creative freedom. I want to be able to do weird stuff with these letters. And if you just type it out only, you can't. You're not going to be creative. You're just going to be able to type it out and do what the computer says you can do. You can do some weird stuff. Like now I'm looking like, how can these line up? I feel like I'm playing Tetris now. These letters are totally like Tetris. There's a stumble right there. The weird, yeah, I guess we can read up. I have to make them smaller. I'm just stacking it like you're climbing. Well, you know what? I'm gonna make it more like stairs.
That's cool.
Let's do more like stairs. So let's offset it. So offset means I'm gonna like do this. So you start on the C. Wait, let's count on how many letters are. This is where all the thought process comes. You start one way and then you kind of start like, okay, wait, what if I can do this? What if I do this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 letters, which means we'll do 2-letter stacks for our stairs. I always like finding, but make sure you don't reverse letters. I always like to find those little things when I'm creating something like, how can I pair stuff up? How can I, like, my first idea was I was just going to do the letters, but then I was like, oh wait, if I do two at a time, okay, that's working. Then I can get it to be like more like stairs. This G is like really funky and big. I'm going to make that smaller than the rest. So it's always like kind of you start to see what's happening and you think, can I make it better? Is there a better idea there? It's not always your first idea when it comes to this creative process. So I'm going to, now what I might, I don't know. There we are. What if I make the L backwards? The L is the one that's kind of killing this idea. So what can I do? But it still has to be like legible. So I don't like that either. I mean, I could start it here and then make the other steps will be like bigger. And it's just those steps. I mean, that's fine, right? Hold down shift, make that bigger. I'm gonna make that G bigger. It's still grossly huge. When I say that, it's like, look how far down it comes. And I didn't make it bigger, this G. That's why when I loaded this font, I was like, it's supposed to be a little bit bigger, else it will look funny, but not as big as they made it. And then if I go edge to edge, oh, can I go? There you go. I go margin to margin. We got our little steps. Beep, 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 beep. Climbing. Let's do running. And here I, didn't mess with anything. Let's do running. I think this is a font where it's caps only. It just happens to be that. And I'm going to double check that by copying and pasting it and double checking. And I can go into the font area and hit this. It makes a little bit of difference, but not a huge amount. I'll do this one with all caps. Oh, I know what I'm going to do with this one. This one is going to be fun. So I won't make it quite as big because I want some room. And then I'm going to do the standard. I'm going to go to type, create outlines, object, ungroup, and I'm going to take with my, with the direct select tool, which allows you to either move a point or a line. I could start to do this stuff, and I'm holding down shift. There you go. But as you see, it gets a little bit distorted, and I want to move these inside parts. The problem is, this is where you run into some weird stuff that you have to figure out. Like, you have to figure out the algorithms around it. And I should be able to select these two. Now I could zoom in because you've all been working on this. And they're super tiny. And I can maybe click one. You wait for that. See how the arrow has nothing and then they get close and it shows that. That means I'm on that point. And then so I can start to move those and then hold down shift. The problem is this line came with it and I didn't want the line. So let's try it once more. 1, 2. Oh, there we go. So now see, I'm bringing it and I want these a little bit more parallel. And I'm going to do the same. But here, if I try to grab, I'm clicking and dragging through, dare I say, the crotch of the N. And then I can move those as well. So there's more than one way to get to grabbing what you need to grab. I need to move the U because I want the N to really be running. Oh, do I dare? I can. Okay. I'm going to select this N, and I'm going to add 2 points. So I'm going to add a point. So I go to my pen tool, and I don't have to do anything special, but when I go over the line and the plus appears, I can add a point. So I can add a point of transition, I guess I would call it, into which now if I grab this, what if I move this here? And oh, that got the whole, it moved the whole line. I just want that point. And I'm having it line up. No, it should be actually higher because it's off the ground. Now let's move this knee down. I want to kind of keep some of that thickness. Right? We got a little running end. Then for this end, I'm going to use this same end over here, possibly. So I can just take that out. Oh, I just thought of something funnier. And then, okay. So this is where it goes. This is where it goes, like you just start thinking, you're like, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Like for each of the letters, if I could just like a little shift on them. Just a little shift. 2, you know, just a little shift. And then a little shift. A little shift. ING. This N I will copy and paste and I'll put here. And I know I'm going off the board here. I know. I'll bring it back. I'll make it smaller. Because I'm going to make it small, a lot smaller. And then, well, for ease of the design, so I can do the third one with you and just kind of show you the creative process, is then we just do this. And then I'm going to duplicate a bunch of times. So now it's running. And it's just all letter manipulation. This becomes so much fun when you do titles for design projects. Like the more you think about like, how can I change these letters to make them look like they're expressive and doing something? And that actually ties into people seeing it and being like, oh, that's awesome. Like if they can get some sort of connection to it, they'll remember it more. And what you want people to do is remember what you designed, because you want them to, in the end, come back and purchase that product. You know, when I say purchase a product, it's like you are going to be a graphic designer. You're going to be advertising stuff. You're going to be trying to sell people stuff. If they remember it because you did something funny and they're like, oh yeah, that's so funny, you know, blah, blah. And they go to the store, they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to get that brand today because I like their ad. Like it happened. We wouldn't advertise if it didn't work. Subtract. Well, we all know what we're going to do for this one, don't we? So I got to think of something different. So my first thought is what everybody's going to think of the first round. And I don't think I want to do it. And my second thought was this, which I don't want to do. So I create a new layer, calling it background. There's no reason we can't add a background. We just can't add extra design elements. Some people have been adding extra design elements, only letters. And then if I do this essentially is subtract. You know, like it's black on white instead of white on black, or you know, and it's that. But and then I can have some. Oh, I'll teach you guys something. And this, I'll do this one, but it's like a teaching moment, and you guys got to think of something else, and it's fairly simple. So in type, I'll keep it reversed too. there's something with letters, and it should show through when I do this, that we can read the tops of letters, but we can't read the bottom of letters. So if I make, this is going to be a blocker. And if I cover up half of these letters, we can still surmise what the word is. It's subtract. It might take us a second, but we can do it. If we do the bottom of the letters, we have a much harder time figuring out what the word is. It's this weird thing that happens. Like, so when we work with that, when you do stuff with design like that, you try not to like cut off certain parts of certain letters, knowing that like people have an easier time, I believe it is, reading the tops of letters over the bottom of letters. So if you do something funky, there's some brands that do this kind of sort of cut off stuff. If you don't go high enough on that B, there you go. So there's subtract. And as always, everybody's doing this right too. So make sure you save your project file, save as, and which one is this? This is lettering expression EXP number 9. So many have been done. So I'm going to save it to cloud storage because that's where I save my stuff, to my files. And this is 122. And I'm going to save it as. And if you save it to the cloud, you also need to download it to upload it for the assignment. Don't forget that. I do check all the files. If you turn them in, if you don't turn them in, it's a little, little knock off the grade. A lot of that has to do with, oh, I put the wrong number in. I can change that number name later. So export, then export as. I'm going to save it PDF. It's supposed to be 9, not 6. My number dyslexia coming in. The first one we'll do is client. And that's the clean one where they don't see anything. I'm going to save it to my desktop, not the downloads. Export. And I have one built, but it is smallest file size. I make sure I view my PDF after saving to check for problems. Nothing is selected here, and I export my PDF. It will open up Adobe Acrobat, and I can see 1, 2, and 3. We are good there. Then I go to make sure I go back to my program file, export as, and then we'll do the press version. And yes, you do have to do this all the time in the real world. This is press quality. View PDF after saving. Marks and bleeds. I want trim marks and use document bleed settings, especially because I have one that is bleeding off and I wouldn't want any white to show around there. Awesome. Now this one, I didn't do any prep on this one. I didn't do any prep on the, so now I can go in here. Oh, why is it not giving me the opportunity? Oh, is it? Let's go to my files. So I can go back. I'm just showing you, if you ever do this, you can go back, you can find the mess up, and I can just rename it. Make that a 9. All these little things that like we forget to do, it's so much better to go and fix it right away, even though we're like, oh shit, I gotta go back and do that again, than to do it wrong. Because if you do it wrong and you keep it wrong, you're just saving that for yourself as like, I'm always just gonna, I don't want to say like take that shortcut, but it's just like, oh, just go back and fix it. All right, what do we got? 5 inches by 5. So we got a square format for this one. The Hobbit. All right, so I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to look for The Hobbit book covers first, because maybe that will give me some inspiration. I'm going to go to Images, and I'm going to go under Tools, and I'm going to go to Size, and I'm going to go to large. I don't want nothing small. Wow, this one's a real popular one. Very Illustrator-y. I don't like it. Sorry to say. But I'll use it. No, why didn't it just open? Oh. Why isn't it doing that thing? Just show me the image. Stop opening the site. That's what I want. All right, I can crop this. Oh, this will be a lesson in cropping. How do they have it go across the edge? Okay. Visit. No, not visit. Sorry. File. I'm going to right click on it, save image as. Sorry, I'm looking at this and I was thinking about the spine of it and the design and everything, and it caught me off guard, and so I'm sorry I stuttered through that. That's what I'm trying to do. The 1937 dust cover. Okay, all right. I'm just gonna rename it Hobbit, so it's not such a long name, and then I'm gonna hit save, and it's done. It's a Hobbit JPEG. It's big enough, and I am going to crop it. Now I know from what I just said that I need a new file, and I need it to be 5 inches by 5 inches. It's always a 1/4 inch bleed. Go to more settings. We want 3 artboards. It remembered this from the last time. I want them in a horizontal row, 1 inch of spacing, 5 by 5. Let's create that document. Oh, I didn't shut down, so we'll see if my copy and paste on all artboards is still screwed up. So I go from this, and then they're going to be 4.5. And I'm going to do fill, nothing, stroke, magenta, 1 point. Make sure it's perfectly centered by clicking here and here. That's good. I'm going to copy, edit, paste on all artboards. All right, that worked. I'm going to turn on my ruler. I'm going to draw my middle points so I just have a reference. You never know when somebody's going to be like, can you change it? Can you make sure it's perfectly in the middle? And you're like, thank God I pulled those guides early on. All right, there you go. Make sure we turn the margin into a template. We create a new layer, call it crop marks. Make that 5 by 5. Boom. Make sure it's 5 by 5. There's no fill, there's no stroke. We make sure it's perfectly centered, and we hit crop marks. Now I will try this again. Copy, edit, paste on all artboards, and there it worked perfectly. So that tells me that just that one instance, I closed it out, reopened a new document, things fixed themselves. Just like I was talking earlier, don't keep doing the same thing over and over and it's not working. Like sometimes it is computer error and sometimes it is user error. Know the difference? You know, there's plenty of times where it's Joel error, and I accept those errors where I do something wrong. Why isn't it doing that? Oh, I forgot to have this. You know, plenty of times working, and it's with the layers. I don't have the right layer turned on. I don't have that turned on. Still, like I still do those things, but the only thing that makes it different, the only part that's different that when I do it now is that maybe a little bit quicker in resolving the problem than new people are. You know, like, because you're looking at so many different things. They're all so new to you, and I can walk up and be like, oh, look at your layers. Oh, you're not on the right layer. And you're like, oh, dang it. You know, like, not a big deal. All right, I'm going to add that 4th layer for background. All right, let's do this image first. So I'm going to go and place my image. So I'm going to go to File, Place, and I'm going to look for Hobbit, and I'm going to place that. It's maybe not as bad as I thought. Now I want to make like, this should be an Illustrator project where I make you guys trace this. All right, so I have the whole thing and it's big and like whatever. First thing I'm going to do is I am going to create a clipping mask for this. And I can see that whoever did this book cover, it's missed. They already cropped it bad. It's missing like the lower portion. It kind of sucks. So I'm going to crop it a little bit tight to make it more symmetrical. What do I mean by that? So if I go based off the bottom, see how it's just cutting into this like EX? I'm going to do that on the side and the top as well. And I'm not going to go over the Hobbit. So I'm looking at these words and I'm thinking that if this book was folded, where would the spine be? And we did that project where we had a book and we had the spine, you know, it's like a 1 inch wide. So this, and you can kind of see in this one, it's dirty. There's like a dirty mark here and here. I can kind of tell where the spine was supposed to be because of that. So I'm using all these visual cues that we start to develop as we become better and better graphic designers. I'm looking for visual cues to help the items look better, look cleaner. It's just this magic thing that you grow and you develop. You start to see things differently. You start to see those details. Oh, I wonder why that is like that. And you start to question it and you start to look at it. I think I mentioned this on Monday, was working with another person on some projects. And then it made me think like, I want to create like the like graphic design, like what's wrong with this image? And there'd be like one little thing and be like, can you see what's wrong with it? And if you can, like, oh, okay, great, you can pass. Like really tiny things like a widow or upside down S. You wouldn't believe how often I find upside down S's in public spaces. But to digress, and I'll tell you more about that in a minute. I have my border, right? My box that I created, the pink magenta box. And I'm going to select both the box and the book cover. I'm going to go to Object, Clipping Mask, Make. And so that clipped out everything I didn't want. I still have the ability to move it within my masked area if I want. But what it does is it makes sure I don't see anything I don't want. And now I'm going to make it smaller. I'm going to hold down Shift, bring this over. I love the darkness of this. So I'm going to go with dark backgrounds, I think. We're just going to start with it like that. I think I'm going to add a background of black. And I'm going to click on, no, I'm going to do the green. I'll do the green. I'll do light. Yeah, if we'll see how long-winded I get. I'll do one black, one blue, one green. Again, I don't like to go too much over an hour. Title and author. Oh, this one has a super short. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay. And I should find a better font. I should have done some research, but. All right. I clicked 4 times. I didn't realize it was locked. There I am. How come it's not opening? Paste. The Hobbit by J.R.R.R.R.R. Tolkien. Copy that out. Do another type. Paste. For this, what do I have up in here that would, I mean, like, it's sort of like this font right away. This screams it. Big, bold. So I'm going to do the Hobbit like this. J.R.R. Tolkien. I'm going to do J.R.R. Tolkien. I want to all the way across. From margin to margin. And I'm going to bring it up off the margin. The bottom of the J is touching the margin, all right? And then I'm going to move my image up beside this. Now, I saw a couple of you. It's okay. Make sure you're giving enough distance in here, right? As you're working, I feel like a good, like be able to stick your finger in between the image and the text. We don't want this. We don't want text touching. We don't want it super good. Just give it some room. I want to be able to walk through, like in a hallway. I want to be able to walk in between things. Don't put the text so close to the images. It's something that you'll hear from us forever until you don't do it anymore. I'm now like rethinking something. I'm going to put in the body copy. I am not going to use this font. Oh, you know what? This is a perfect reason. Okay, I got the perfect thing. All right. For this one, I'm going to recenter some stuff, and I'll do another version. But I think the other idea about this, and I've talked about this in the past, is filling everything up, right? I want to make sure that everything is filled, and that's actually not what we want to do. We want to make sure that we can read everything individually, but know it's all together. So I don't need to make, so I will do, let me change this font because I don't want that heavy black font. I'm going to do two things. I will do a variant. Oh, let's just do times. I think I did times the other day. Oh, I'll do italic, even though I kind of hate italic. I'll just do it. Oh, look at how screwed up. I got to restart Illustrator. Look at that. All right, so I'm going to do this, and I have this. And then what we don't want to do is like, you could end it here if you wanted. It's you read The Hobbit, you got a little text from it, you got the book cover. What you don't want to do is get nervous about this space and be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to make the book big. And again, this is what not to do. And then the text, oh boy, the text, I'm going to do this. And I just give it a little space. And then here's the text. And then there. Great use of real estate if that's what we are going for, but that's not what we want. Everything is touching everything else. It's just, we want people to like look in between and have some breaks. So we're going to reduce the size of the Hobbit to make sure like I can walk in between. And then for the text, the same thing. Well, then we'll just make that text box the height. Oop. Let's lock that layer. The height of the book. Can bring it out. So I have that same gap. I can walk around it. And I just make the text smaller. Hobbit hole. Really screwing me up. So if I go to 13, and even that's too much spacing, so I'm going to go 13. I have to get rid of that widow. Some of you have had widows. It's fine. A widow is a single word at the bottom of a paragraph, just all on its own. It just, in graphic design, it's a faux pas. We don't want to do it. So we push a word from a higher line down in order to at least have two words. And then there we go. And then I'm going to make this box and then center it. And I'm going to go a little bit above center like that. So again, there's room in between everything. We don't have to jam it all in. Let's do another one. So then the great part is you just grab everything from one, hold shift and option down, slide it on over, use the arrow key to get it all centered up, and play around. So I want the background. I'm going to color match to the blue, which means everything's going to go, oh, What if I do the text as the color match to the green? And I keep that as white. But now let's reorder things. Let's get things in a different order. I'm gonna stack The Hobbit, meaning I'm gonna do those words. I'm gonna hit a return. I'm actually gonna do what we learned in the other typographical treatment idea. Is I don't like just hitting a return. I want to be able to get these right where I want them. You know, like even if I wanted that, like I want to, if I lined up the T and the H, this is where that title, this is where we're, you know, teaching you about that title stuff. And what if I did this and I took, I gotta zoom in, and I'm gonna take a idea from the other assignment. See what I'm doing? I'm gonna pull this, I have this down here. Then I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna go to type, create outlines. I gotta make sure everything else is locked up. And then I'm gonna grab this. Nope. I need to lock this. Object, lock, selection. So now I can't grab Hobbit, but I can grab this. And I don't want the whole thing. Why is it grabbing the whole thing? There we go. I can bring that down. Now I need to grab higher because see how that curve's getting really wonky? I need to get those other points in there. And I'm gonna pull it down to here. Now there's my title. I don't know, try something. And then I'll move the book. So now I can unlock object, unlock all. So now and then I'm gonna grab these two and I'm gonna group them, object, group. Because I wanna be able, if I wanna make it smaller, it'll live together. Then I'm gonna move my book up to the top. And I'm gonna make my book the same height. So I'm gonna start splitting the difference. I'll make the book a little bit bigger and I'll make the Hobbit a bit big. Too big, they're touching. Go a little bit smaller, go a little bit smaller. Go a little bit smaller. Nice walking, I can walk in between these. There's a nice distance there. I'll keep J.R.R. Tolkien the way it is, and then I'm going to take this text, pull it all the way across. And this can kind of be big. I can do something. I don't always do this kind of work. I got to remove that return I have in there, which is easy. Just go here, delete it. Remember, as graphic designers, no matter what, you are typographers as well. I still have a widow, and I'm going to play with both the size of the font and the leading. I don't want it crazy big. And I'm going to do one last. I'm going to do this idea where I have shift in return. It's called I want this or away as well. Now, what I can do is make this box smaller. And in order to keep that type but make it bigger, I'm going to go to the free transform tool, which is E. And I'm going to, didn't like that without anything clicked on. I'm going to hit E, and I'm going to make this the size, that size. Now again, everything's big, but there's room between everything. And then the last one, you just do the same thing. Well, I'm going to grab the first grouping because I did that thing with the Hobbit. Oh, got to get that background in there. It's okay, just drag it separate. Oh, make sure you hold down both keys on the keyboard. It's all right. Do it all the time. Oops, just fix it. And this one will be black. And then the text, we'll try it as blue. Too dark. They got that cream color. I'll use that cream color. And then what if this was the green? It might work. I'm not ecstatic about it. And then I'm going to do, now it's time to redesign. So I'm going to move everything a little bit. Let's have it. We come in, we have an intro. We see the book. I feel like there's something where I want the book. I want the book down. I want JRR. And I want the book to be the size of the JRR. See where I'm going there? Maybe bring that out a little bit. Don't worry, I'm going to add that walking space. Bring it down a bit. And then move the Hobbit. I don't know. Now I'm second guessing what I'm going to do. Delete this. Delete this. Oh, I can do that. All right. Let's try this weird move. So it's, and then we make this bigger. So it like frames the book. Huh? There we go. We'll see. I gotta make the Hobbit smaller because I want to be able to grab all this. Gotta lock that layer. Grab all this. Respace. I'm gonna bring this down. Now comes like, now I'm really looking at like the equalizing of the space, which means I can make this bigger. And then maybe make the book just a little bit bigger. All right, I have my room around it. The book, it comes to the end pretty much, maybe just like a little tap up. And then right where the book is, like almost matching the book in size. You can do that. It's kind of weird. It's weird. I don't know if it works with this gap. But let's make sure all the text is in there. I go up to 14. Let's zoom in. Kind of fix the edge of the text. Meaning I'm going to choose where I want the returns to be and not let the computer tell me. Oh, look at that. I am going to put a space here so Hobbit hole breaks into 2 words. And then I could just do this with the letting. There we go. That one's a weird one. It's always good to try weird. I actually don't mind it. So there you go. Play around with these. There's no design mission this week. Look back, like I said, at all your projects. If you've got something big and red on your grade book, up until session 6, you got a week-ish. Get it in. Have some fun, play around, a little bit lighter right now, and then we'll finish out with a bang. Any questions, comments, or concerns? All right, wonderful. If I don't talk to you on discussion boards, I will see you on Monday for session 14 and getting down to the nitty-gritty. All right, take care. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.